Hello, I'm Mike Gambardella, and welcome into the final episode of Pat's Latest before the NFL Draft. Yes, it's finally upon us. The conjecture is now over, and we can get down to brass tacks as the New England Patriots will be on the clock after three short picks, barring a trade down, and we will know who the newest New England Patriot is before the night is over. Before we get into everything for today's episode, make sure you go down and subscribe for our channel. Get into the comments and let us know what you want to see the Patriots do, and whether that's trade up, trade back, or select at 4 before we get into day 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft emanating from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And make sure to get in and check out our previous episodes and give us a like if you like what you hear. Again, we're tongue-tied and flabbergasted over all of the rumors that we have heard over the past 3 months. We can put a lot of that to bed, but we have the final ones going into tonight's draft, which could be a difference maker indeed for the Patriots as they look to go to the playoffs in year 1 under Mike Vrabel. Looking at it before we get to some players, we're looking at a non-drafted player for this year, but one that the Patriots passed on a few years ago in George Pickens. The rumors are swirling that multiple teams have actually contacted Pittsburgh about George Pickens to see if he is available. Now, looking at it on the surface, it doesn't make a ton of sense because they went out and got DK Metcalf to pair with George Pickens and set it up to actually have a dynamic passing game. The Steelers are in a bit of a transient spot, trying to figure out who their starting quarterback will end up being, whether they want to punch a ticket for the Aaron Rodgers Express, or if they actually are looking at someone like Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders in this draft as well. Before they get to that point, though, they could look to potentially move George Pickens, add some draft capital for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and move on from a player who's actually in the final year of his contract. The prevailing thought is that George Pickens is more available than you would think. And it's not overly surprising because he has had his ups and downs. And if you're not sold that George Pickens is going to be worth that T. Higgins level contract, perhaps a step back or so from that 1B top flight wide receiver, then why not get something for him right now, especially for what the Steelers are? They are a consistent playoff team, but not quite ready to challenge for the Super Bowl yet. So a daunting decision in front of Pittsburgh indeed. But the Patriots could be one of those teams that could pick up the phone and say, all right, we'll give you a third and a fifth for Pickens right now. Let's get the deal done and move on, knowing that you're going to probably have to get the contract as well. For me right now, it would not make sense for the Patriots to pull the trigger on a deal like this. Again, you're a 4-win team, you are rebuilding. Get players that you can absolutely control from their rookie deals up front. But again, if that price is right and getting more talent in the building is never a bad thing when you have a quarterback that is up and coming, just like Drake May is. Looking at things and players that could help Drake May is Ashton Jeanty, and we've talked about him several times over the past 2 weeks here as someone who's really jumped up draft boards everywhere and for the Patriots. Even saying, look, we know the biggest hole for this team is offensive line, saying we're willing to address that either by trading back into the first round at a later spot or the second round and get somebody to really help Drake May and take the pressure off of him. He continues to move up draft boards, even to the point where he is now the betting favorite to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick number 5. There also continues to be rumors that the Chicago Bears are infatuated with Ashton Jeanty and would love to trade up to get him. So now, if you're hearing that the Jaguars could potentially pull the trigger, and with Liam Cohen, who is an offensive-minded coach in Jacksonville, it may make sense to get the Bears on the phone and say, if you want this guy, you've got to come to 4. You've got to give up 10 and other things to get him. And for me, that is the move, because not only are you not putting full big draft capital into a running back and a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, This way, you're able to move back in the first round, pick up additional assets, allow you to move up and down the draft board. This would also, if you're getting their second, if you're getting a third, if you're getting a future pick, this allows you to potentially move back into the first round or double up on that second and get an offensive tackle and a wide receiver in addition to whoever you end up taking at 10. And for me and for a lot of people, that continues to be Will Campbell. And I think at this point, it is fair to say that Will Campbell is a Mike Vrabel guy. I know that there are issues with the arm length. I know that there are questions if he is actually a guard or a tackle. I think at this point, you see that there is a fiery player. There is someone who has played at the highest level of collegiate football at LSU and going in the SEC. And there's a great story going around for Will Campbell from his high school days, where it pretty much goes that he didn't dress for a high school playoff game his senior year because of a pulled groin. His team was losing, so he got dressed under the stadium at halftime, asked to enter the game in the third quarter, told his dad and coach, just let me go out for one drive and see how I feel. And then didn't come out, and they won. It just goes to show that his desire, his leadership qualities, his ability to read a room, his fire, his passion is there. That's what absolutely Mike Vrabel wants. He wants the love of the game, and he has said numerous times that they need to win in the trenches, and Will Campbell's the guy you want next to you to win in the trenches, to get things done. And again, I know that he could potentially be at that left tackle spot for you, but if worst case scenario, he proves to have too many issues with that shorter arm length and can't recover as enough based upon his athleticism, which he has shown at the collegiate level that that's what he relies on and that's what he wins with, along with some raw power as well. You can always kick him into left guard and have a Joe Tooney level. I think that is the ceiling of a guy there who is just absolutely a mauler, and he has 4 inches on what Joe Tooney was from 6'2" to 6'6". So again, I think the Patriots, it lines up really well, especially if Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are not available at 4. Will Campbell should and probably absolutely will be the pick unless the Patriots can get someone like the Chicago Bears on the phone to trade back on. I think there will be discussions on you should take Jeanty at 4, just go take a dynamic running back, get more help for Drake May. But I think the smart and prudent decision is to absolutely take Will Campbell, set Will Campbell up with some serious protection, either at that tackle or guard spot, and then double down again by taking a tackle or a guard later in the second or third round. Finally, we look at someone that we potentially have been undervaluing through this cycle because of everything else that has happened with the Patriots. Mike Vrabel obviously takes those headlines as a former head coach that comes back to the Patriots after winning Super Bowls with a player's coach, a guy who gets it, a guy who understands what it takes to win, a guy who's taken teams to conference championship games. Then talking about Drake May, talking about the weapons that he needs, going out and getting Stefon Diggs. We talked again about adding starters on this team. They have added 7 to 8 starters through free agency. To me, it's 7 starters through free agency and maybe one other rotational player. The other one they definitely need to get to hit that 8 mark that we talked about as needing to be there to be in a position to have success in 2025 is 8. As long as the Patriots can come away with a left tackle, starting left tackle in the draft or in free agency right after, they will be in position to do so, because not only do you have Mike Vrabel, who's a great leader of men and a defensive-minded coach, that with those free agency additions, whether that's Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Carlton Davis, and the list goes on, the offense will be completely retooled, and Drake May will be put in a position to succeed because of Josh McDaniels. Again, adding former head coaches onto the staff underneath Mike Vrabel. Josh McDaniels absolutely is that. Doug Marrone, even Thomas Brown, who was the interim head coach for the Bears last season. Having all of that experience there allows these guys to settle into their roles, maximize potential, and skill level and talent for everyone that they have on the field. And that goes especially for guys like Demario Douglas, who have always kind of flown under the radar and maybe have never been put into the true position of being absolutely successful. Uh, Pop was actually on being interviewed the other day and said on McDaniels that it's going to be a blessing to have him as the offensive coordinator. He said he knows what he does, he's seen what he does, and he feels like he brings out that slot position even more so. And we know that's what he's known for. It's Josh McDaniel. Excuse me. It's Julian Edelman. It's Wes Welker. It's any guy that you want to throw in there. It's the running backs coming out and catching passes as well. Pop's also saying that he's studied what past New England slot receivers have done. Don't be surprised if he starts to model his game after that. And that's absolutely what he wants to fit into. Now, especially with Stefon Diggs being able to occupy a spot outside, and that allows, whether it's Kendrick Bourne, whether it's Mac Hollins, whether it's Javon Baker, whether it's Jalen Polk, whether it's an additional wide receiver, someone like Luther Burden that could step in and really start to change this team overnight. We are now just hours away from that potentially happening. Expect the Patriots to come away with a top 10 pick in this draft. Don't be surprised if they trade back into the first round if another offensive tackle, wide receiver, or potentially an edge is there. Don't sleep on someone like Mike Green or James Pierce, the Tennessee edge defender, as well. If guys like that are still there and someone wants to trade out because they know that there's somebody they want and the value's there, again, there's probably from pick 5 to pick 50 where there's not a ton of variance. So you'll be able to get guys in this draft. So expect the Patriots to be active on day 1. Expect them to be active on night 2 at the start of the second round. And hopefully the Patriots can come away with not 1, but 2, but even potentially 3 starters in this NFL draft. That'll do it for this episode of Pat's Latest. We're excited for the NFL draft tonight. We'll be back early on, Friday morning with the breakdown of everything coming from the first round and what to expect for night 2 of the NFL draft. So make sure you get into our comments. Let us know what you need to see the Patriots do. Make sure you give us a like if you like what you hear. Subscribe for our channel and go back and listen to our other episodes. We will be back with everything for you. Fight on, Foxborough.